I've noticed more and more people are starting to choose weed over alcohol, myself included. And as someone who enjoys a good drink with their friends, I totally see why that was the thing to do for so long. But as weed becomes more accessible, I've almost completely gone away with drinking. I've probably drank 3 or 4 times maybe over the last year, which I used to drink almost every weekend. And since weed has become more accessible, more acceptable, I would say, and just available, I have completely chosen that route, and many other people have as well. For me, replacing drinks with edibles has replaced those hangovers that everyone hates so much, and I also don't have to go to the bathroom every 10 minutes, which is something I really enjoy as someone with a small bladder. As a weed lover, it totally makes sense to me why I chose weed over alcohol and continue to, but what really surprised me is the shift that society is taking away from alcohol into the weed space. It seems like more and more people I hear are saying that they are heavy smokers and not really drinkers at all anymore, which is really cool. And I wanted to dive into that more today because I thought it was really interesting. Us humans will always have our vices, but I do think it's safe to say that marijuana is a better option for most people than alcohol, and it is definitely a safer option. Alcohol has been a staple in social gatherings and personal relaxation for centuries, but its impact on health and society has always been a mixed bag. According to the CDC, alcohol is responsible for nearly 95,000 deaths each year in the US alone. In comparison, cannabis has had a tumultuous history from being widely used to being criminalized, and now is legal again in many states here in the US. Almost half of the US now has legal recreational marijuana, and even more states have medical marijuana available. This legal shift is paving the way for new social habits. According to Sandy Lamont with CNN, the use of weed to replace alcohol is a growing trend in the United States. In fact, a recent study found, for the first time ever, the daily use of cannabis of any kind of Americans surpassed the daily use of alcohol. In sheer numbers, of course, many more people still drink alcohol on occasion than use marijuana. Nearly 18 million people ages 12 and older reported using marijuana daily or near daily in 2022, compared with about 15 million people who said they used alcohol with the same frequency. We all know that excessive alcohol consumption can lead to serious health issues like liver disease, addiction, and even cancer. On the other hand, many people view cannabis as a healthier alternative. Studies suggest that it can help with pain management, anxiety, and even sleep disorders without the severe side effects associated with alcohol. Social norms are also shifting. As cannabis becomes more mainstream, people are more comfortable using it in social settings. It's no longer just about getting high, it's about wellness and enjoyment. The stigma is disappearing, and while it does exist, it is still a night and day difference from how cannabis was viewed even just 10 years ago. Since high school, I've seen something that is once demonized become something that is widely accepted and used for medicinal purposes by a lot of people. For the most part, it's now perceived as harmless and helpful. Celebrities and influencers are also playing a role in this trend. Many public figures openly endorse cannabis, making it more socially acceptable. Pop culture is a huge influence. Movies like Pineapple Express and Half Baked, alongside musicians like Wiz Khalifa, were a driving force in my fascination with weed before I even got the chance to try it. Many celebrities now have and promote their own weed brands, Wiz included with his brand Khalifa Kush. It doesn't stop with musicians or actors like Seth Rogen either. Many famous athletes such as Ricky Williams, Calvin Johnson, Shawn Kemp, Al Harrington, and many more have created brands in the cannabis space. Let's talk about money. Depending on where you live, cannabis can be more cost effective than alcohol. With the rise of dispensaries, consumers have more options and competitive prices. There's multiple dispensaries around me where you can get $40 ounces, or even the one I work at currently has ounces of shake for under $20. While it's not going to be the best, and it's definitely not something that I'd smoke, the cost can be great in comparison to even most cheap beers when breaking down the price to buzz ratio. An article on Leafly pulling data from New Frontier Data said, the cannabis industry is booming, creating jobs and contributing to the economy in ways that alcohol companies can't match. This economic shift is also influencing consumer choices. I moved to Michigan to get a job in the cannabis space. 99% of the new buildings you see in Michigan are dispensaries. While the amount of liquor stores still outweighs the amount of dispensaries, I think that will soon change due to the booming marijuana market and constant demand for new locations and stores. Billboard companies up here are surviving off of cannabis companies alone. The stigma is fading, the stores are becoming more accessible, and the public perception is now shifting to a space where marijuana is viewed by many as a safer option than alcohol. With legalization comes regulation. This means safer, more controlled products. Unlike alcohol, which is often associated with risky behavior and accidents, regulated cannabis is seen as a safer option. A lot of people are hesitant to get weed from a dealer. It's illegal, you don't know where the product is being sourced from, and it can be flat out sketchy. But being able to go to a legal dispensary removes all of those fears associated with the purchasing process of cannabis. However, it's important to remember that cannabis is still illegal at the federal level in the US, which can lead to legal complications depending on where you are. In summary, the shift from alcohol to cannabis is influenced by health considerations, changing social norms, economic factors, and evolving legal landscapes. Whether it's for wellness, cost, safety, whatever it may be, many more people are starting to realize that cannabis is a better fit for their lifestyle than alcohol. What do you guys think about this trend? Are you someone who prefers a smoke over a drink, a pack of gummies over some alcohol? Let me know down below what your preference is.